Hi guys, my name is Andrew. I am a wheelchair user, and today I'm going to go over 4 different portable tire pumps that I have used over the last couple of years. I'm going to go through some of the things I really like about them, some of the things I don't like so much about them. I'm always on the lookout for a good compact wheelchair tool that I can use, carry on me, travel with, etc. And these are the 4 that I found over the last few years that I think are probably the best out of a million different types that I've tried. So we'll start with the biggest one that I have. This is the brand Blackburn. I actually got this one from Walmart, although it is available on Amazon as well. This is the first pump that I got when I was first in a wheelchair. It was the first time I ever needed to add air to my tires, so we ran to Walmart, and I really liked that it was handheld. I really liked that it has a pressure gauge built into it, made it a lot easier for me to know exactly where my tires were without me having to buy a separate tire gauge. So the way this works is that you connect this piece to the valve, you open this back piece to lock it in. Once it's locked in, this back piece opens up. Let's see if I can actually open it up. Just like that. Lock it into place, and this itself is a hand pump. I will say, if you don't have great hand dexterity, this may be a little bit harder to use. It is a little hard to open and lock the piece up top, and it is a little bit hard to open up this hand pump piece from when it's in the locked position at the bottom. It does also extend even farther. Let's see, it's got a little bit of a, here it is, this little tiny thing you twist. I'm not gonna lie, I never open this thing up all the way. And the reason for that is I find that it's actually really hard to pump the tire when it's extended on both sides. So I usually leave it in the locked position and only pump it with this one extension. The great thing about this is, one, it's portable, but two, it's got a nice hand grip here to grab onto to pump the tire. Although I will say I have had a couple times where when I'm pumping the tire up, this piece closes and I've pinched my finger between the handle and this piece right here. That is definitely something to keep in mind with this, especially if you maybe don't have good grip, or if you're gripping it towards the end. If you push down on this, you have a good chance of this bending down and pinching your fingers. This cost me about $13 at Walmart, and I think right now it's about $14 on Amazon. Overall, out of the 2 hand pumps that I have, this is probably the go-to. Even though it's a little bit bigger, the built-in pressure gauge is honestly better than not having it. Moving on to the second hand pump, this is the Vibrelli. I actually got this hand pump off of Amazon because I was looking for one that was a bit smaller than the Blackburn. This one does not have a pressure gauge built in, so to pair with this, I also got one of those really small pressure gauge. That way I knew exactly where the pressure on my tires were. So this one works similar, where you connect this to your pressure valve, and in order to lock it, you push this up, and it locks right into place. Now this one does not have the opening hand lever. This one just pumps up and down. You don't have that chance of pinching your fingers, which is kind of nice. This one is probably a little bit easier to carry in a bag if you're looking to have a pump on your person. I don't ever really have either of these on my person. These are more of throw in my car emergency backups. One's in the garage, one's in my trunk type of deal, just in case. But if you are looking to keep one on your person or to travel with, I think these are pretty good options, both being under $20. This one I said was $13, $14 from Walmart, Amazon. This one was actually only $12 on Amazon. So the next portable one I have is the ProBike Tool CO2 cartridge pump. This one I really like because it's super small, easy to carry, to throw in your bag, and really easy to assemble. So it comes with only 2 pieces, which is this cover for the CO2 pump, and then this top piece, which connects to the CO2. I believe this set cost about $20, but I will say it did not include the CO2 cartridge. So just keep that in mind, that once you run out of CO2, you're going to have to buy more refills for it. They're not terribly expensive, but it is an added expense, so it's just good to keep that in mind. This is super easy to use. What you do is connect this to the valve, you twist that to lock it in, and then on the back here, you can kind of see, if I can All right, it doesn't want to zoom for me, but it does have an O right there for open and a C there for closed. So once you get that connected, you just press that, open it up, and then when you feel like your tire is filled, you just go ahead and close that. This does not have a pressure gauge built into it, so something to keep in mind. You might need to keep a separate one on your person. And you could probably get maybe one full tire, maybe a tire and a half worth of air out of one cartridge. So this is really kind of just you need to fill up a little bit. Your tires are pretty full and you're noticing they're just a little squeaky on the floor. They need a little bit of air. This is the go-to tool in my opinion. Because this is a CO2 cartridge, this is probably not something you want to leave in your car. Honestly, I'm not too sure if you can leave a CO2 cartridge in a vehicle if it gets too cold or too hot outside. It's probably not a good idea, but I'm not going to lie, I don't really know. And I don't believe this is something you can fly with. I'm not 100% sure on that either. I tried to look it up, but I saw some mixed things, so I would probably take the safe route and say that this is not something that you can fly with. Again, this was about $20 on Amazon, and I believe the refills were maybe $16 to $20 for a pack of 8 to 10 of the CO2 cartridges. Last but not least, this is probably my favorite out of all of the portable tire pumps. Although it is the heaviest, it's almost the smallest. I would argue that this one, even though it's taller, it is smaller. But this one by far I think is the best. So I believe this was about $40 on Amazon. Brand is, let's take a look, Top Topper? Honestly, all I did was look up mini electric tire pump, and this was one of the results. It came with both an extended piece that I keep on there as well as a smaller one you can just connect straight to your tire. Now, the reason I really like this is because it is electric. You can see that I have it auto set to 100 PSI because that is how much my tires currently take. But the great thing about this is that you can connect it to your tire, set it to how much you need it, and it'll auto stop once it hits 100 PSI. Also, when it's connected to your tire, it'll show you what you are currently at for pressure in the tire, which is kind of neat. I will say there are some downfalls to this one as well. One being that you have to charge it, make sure it's charged. It does take a USB-C. It does come with the charger as well and a couple of other like bits and pieces for this right here. Another downfall to this is it's probably not something you want to keep in a car, especially if you live in climates that are really hot, really cold, or both. Although you probably could fly with this. This is my go-to travel air pump. I still keep something like this in the back of the car in the trunk just in case for an emergency, but this is my go-to pump overall. I'll also say that because this is an electric pump, it is kind of loud. Let me show you. It's pretty loud, not gonna lie, but it is the fastest way I think to pump up the tire, get an accurate pressure reading. Overall, I think the good outweighs the kind of loud noise that it makes just because it's probably the easiest out of all of the pumps that I have to use. Easy to throw in your bag, easy to use, probably the one I recommend the most, even though the price point is just slightly higher than the other air pumps. Overall, each of them kind of has their pros and their cons. This one being probably my favorite out of all of them. This little one is going to be the best for just topping off your tire, throwing your bag, but not going to be one to travel with on a plane, probably not one you want to leave in your car. And then these two are going to be the best, I think, for leaving in your car, throwing in a suitcase, traveling with as emergency backups. Hopefully this maybe helps somebody who is either new to a chair. I know when I first started, I had no idea what I was doing, but if you'd like to see more videos like this, let me know.